Our growth was a result of setting goals too and helping people achieve the 3, 6, 9% levels. We'd helped many people hit the 9% level, enabling them to qualify to hear Bill and Les O'Brien at the forthcoming Dream Weekend 9% meeting. Now, during our first year in the business, we learnt so much, and we would like to reflect on some things which we know will help some of the new people here today. You see, still 3 months in the business, our upline direct, Ken Miller, kept showing plans. We didn't understand why he was doing it and what was in it for him. We eventually realised the principles of helping others first was the only motive in gaining success for themselves. Where do you get people who are prepared to take time from their families to help you put a future together for free? I read in a recent book of the month, when you help someone climb a mountain, you'll often find yourself at the summit too. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the true meaning of friendship in this business, and we owe that principle to our leaders and to our upline who stood by us. Now, the most significant area of the business that had a lasting effect on us was reading. It improved our faith no end. The book, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness, should be read by everyone. And another book in particular, which enabled us both to overcome our financial difficulties, was Tough Times Never Last, Tough People Do, by Dr. Robert Schuller. Being out of work left me with a very poor self-image, and I was very low on confidence, and in many ways held me back from focusing on the very thing that could help me, this business. We were more concerned at how much money we were losing on our houses, the cost of the functions, the cost of the tapes and the books, rather than setting ourselves a goal to stop the rot. We had been negotiating the price again. Now let me run through how that book helped. If you haven't read it, I suggest you do. Robert Schuller had a dream, a 40-year plan to build an all-glass church, a crystal cathedral in Orange County in California. He'd had plans drawn up and a model made with an estimate of then $7 million. He said to the architect, Richard Neutra, that they couldn't afford to build it, but on the other hand, they couldn't afford not to, as he told his congregation at the drive-in church that they were going to have one. He said getting $7 million was no different to trying to find a job if you're unemployed. Our problem was similar to his. We needed money, and I needed a job. He needed to raise $1 million, so he asked a close friend, how do you find $1 million, and got a very strange reply. How do you find a moose? He thought, what sort of answer was that? But then realised, in order to find a moose, you need to know where they are. The penny dropped, or was it the dime? Anyway, he wrote down a list of people who could possibly donate $1 million or more. Our situation was the same. I wanted a job. Who would employ me? What type of companies were looking for my experience? And what could I do for them? It really was quite simple. I got back into work by having faith in myself, but most importantly, knowing that I could do it. Now, during the construction of the Crystal Cathedral, the cost kept going up. And on many occasions, Dr. Robert Schuller said they almost threw in the towel. We went through the same dilemmas. We were still losing £1,000 a month on our houses, which we couldn't even give away. The cathedral was eventually built at a cost of $27 million. They found a way to get the money from donations and selling over 10,000 windows for $500 each, which brought in $5 million. We were on our way thanks to that book. We knew that this business was one step at a time, and we could eventually overcome our difficulties. We just had to keep on keeping on. Always remember to focus on the prize, not the price. We did. Now, 1992 was a year full of excitement. We went to our first major function together, Dream Weekend, with Bill and Les O'Brien, who were brilliant. And as Angela said, listening to Leslie helped her tremendously. Well, exactly 120 days after that function, we qualified as silver producers. The impact of that function did it for us. We were then recognised at the 21% level on June the 21st, our wedding anniversary, and that magic 21 again. We went on to Direct in November and were so thrilled at being asked to join the team at Direct to help at the seminars and rallies. We also met our leaders, Pat and Greta and Jerry Mandy, at a Gold Producers Workshop to learn about the responsibilities as a Direct. It was another dream come true, meeting 2 couples we had both aspired to and looked up to so much, knowing where they'd all come from. During that year, following through from the principles of Robert Schuller's book and the financial principles from another book, The Richest Man in Babylon, we approached our building society and told them that we were doing everything that we could to stop the rot, but no one was interested in buying our Clacton property. And then said that at the rate of the equity being eroded, we may as well let them take over the ownership of the house and pay them a rent. We knew that wasn't the solution, but I suggested they consider a short-term plan of 1 year freeze on the loan. We said that this would give us time to sell and at least come out even. They agreed. Now in 1993, things started on a positive note. We again assisted the team of directs and helped with the running of Dream Weekend and achieved another major goal where we met Bill and Les O'Brien at the Directs Banquet. It was a magic moment and it's something you should all aim for. It really is worth it. Now we were privileged to be asked to tell our story on February 21st at 21 again. We were thrilled to be hosted by Mike and Di Beasley and they made us feel so much at ease despite me being a bundle of nerves. Now Angela was so cool that I was absolutely amazed. And on driving to the function, I couldn't calm down as I was losing my voice the closer we got. Now, Angela agreed to take over the wheel so I could relax. That day was a magic moment as I saw Angela talking to many people, knowing that only 2 years earlier she said she would never do anything with this business. She really had grown, and she was brilliant as she was earlier today. I changed jobs in March and landed on my feet with a large international Japanese company specialising in document engineering. It's an Americanism for documentation design. They approached me to join them, and within 2 weeks I was off to Los Angeles for an introduction to their latest technology on documentation printing. Now, years ago, I would have willingly gone, but things in the business were going very well, so I immediately got in touch with upline Mike Cash and explained our situation. Mike had a complete overview of our business and could advise us of accordingly taking time out of the business. He asked, "Are you confident that going away won't damage your business?" Now, I knew that taking time away from the business could be disastrous without first discussing it with our upline. Well, I was off to Los Angeles for 2 weeks in March and came back to a complete surprise. Angela was hanging from the ceiling. Now, please don't misunderstand this. The business doesn't do that. One of our groups had gone from 9% to 15%. While I was away. Now, it was so important to understand what did that. It was the system. We can never thank our leaders enough for the devotion to the fine-tuning of the system. I wasn't even in the country. How could we tell people how to make a list, how to contact invite, how to set up customers, how to do a follow-up, and why they needed to listen to Tape of the Week and be on the continual education program? You see, it was all laid out for them to follow in the footsteps of others who had done the same. That's why the system works. You can't beat the system. We could now see our next major goal, Ruby, on the horizon. But again, the power of family reunion created more growth than we expected, and our second leg went silver. 2 months later, the third leg went 18, while the other legs were now also growing too. It looked all over by the shouting that we would be Pearl Directs within months. Now, we were extremely excited with the business growing fast. However, our bank were not. And in September, our bank manager called us in to tell us they were not happy with our house situation and they were going to stop all our banking facilities. We knew just how difficult that was going to make things for us with the business. We sat with our 2 children, realising how critical it was and that he was putting a block on us and our dreams. We appealed to him that this situation, that this business was all that we had and our only hope of coming out of this situation, and the bank too. Our dream of coming out of our financial disasters wasn't looking too good. He said that networking isn't all it's cut out to be and would be very surprised if we made it work. We had never been so frustrated. We had to get by for a few more months, but the bank, after pleading with them, agreed to let us carry on, but insisted that no other facilities would be entertained until we sold our Clacton property. Now, having worked out a solution with the bank, my brother called to say that our parents' restaurant had gone into liquidation. Again, we were frustrated at not being able to help them either, and knowing that in another year that we could. We let these challenges get us down, and we took our eyes off our goals, and in doing so, we didn't hit Pearl as planned in September of last year. October at last, and we were getting away from Noel to leadership seminar in Madeira, courtesy of the corporation. Another one of our goals achieved. We went with our first directs and close friends who had been a great help to us over the difficult times that we'd been through. We had a great time and helped us forget everything and gave us a taste of things to come. The itinerary of events was just unbelievable. The food superb and the company of friends, it was great. We eventually sold our house on December 17th and said goodbye to the bridging loan. We really did celebrate Christmas Although our parents had lost their restaurant after 7 years' hard effort, we invited them to stay over and enjoy with us what was to be an amazing turning point in our lives and a huge relief. And Robert Schuller was right. Tough times never last, tough people do. We stuck to our belief that tough times wouldn't last. The new year beckoned, and we knew that 1994 was to be a year of years for us. Dream Weekend kicked off. Everyone was so excited at seeing Bill and Les O'Brien again. Now, what a weekend that was. Hearing Leslie tell us the struggles of Bill getting over his illness. It made our struggles look so insignificant, and we felt terrible to think that what they'd gone through. We thanked them for making us realise just how lucky we were. We knew with the power of the major functions it was a formality going Pearl. We reset our goal and set goals for others too, and continued to add more width. It's so easy to work in a group and forget about adding width to your business. And we hadn't kept in contact regularly with new people, and we're rusty. We hadn't listened to the ad pack for a while, and when handing it out, I didn't get the response that I needed. You see, on occasions, you can stop doing the basics. You can stop adding a name to your list every day. You stop getting to know new people. But remember, strangers are friends you just haven't met yet. The company threw a spanner in the works once again. They planned a global office meeting in Los Angeles, and I was to be in attendance during the first 2 weeks of March of this year. Again, I called Mike Cash and went through the same as I did the previous year, and he asked, how's it looking? Well, I said the leaders are doing what it takes, and everyone is plugged into the system. Now, in many ways, I was excited at this time at going to Los Angeles, as there was an ulterior motive. I'd made plans to take a few excursions, which I'd like to talk you through. Our office was only 20 minutes away from Orange County, and I knew this was an opportunity of making one of my dreams come true, a visit to Robert Schuller's Crystal Cathedral. As I drove south on the freeway, it appeared on the horizon glistening in the Californian sun. The bell tower made of stainless steel rods standing 260 feet tall like a needle against the flat skyline and was just stunning. I was given a guided tour of the complex and walked on the marble paving stones inscribed with the names of all those who had donated towards its construction. I walked around the original drive-in church, still used today, then into the cathedral itself. The cathedral is shaped like a four-pointed star, with the east and west points extended as it was their intention to reach all points of the globe east and west. It made my hair stand on my back as I walked into this absolutely beautiful glass building, which was one man's vision and a dream. And here I was, seeing it with my own eyes. Having read so much about it and how he had helped us, it was really incredible. I sat in silent prayer for quite some time. Then as I stood up, I noticed a plate with the initials on it on the bottom of the seat. The initials JJ, with the initials of our first son, Jason James. A coincidence maybe, or was it meant to be? Reading Robert Schuller's book, he often says that some things were meant to be. It's just like this business. We knew it was meant to be. I took a copy of my book, Tough Times Never Last, Tough People Do, to see if I could get Robert Schuller to autograph it, but I missed him by a couple of minutes. I was asked to leave the book with a message, and I did, and they said they would get him to autograph it. He did, and I received it a few weeks ago. A dream is so important, and seeing that cathedral rekindled my reasons and our dreams. Now, do you recall the year previously that I'd gone away through my job and things had happened? Well, I was beginning to get the message. The third leg had done it again. In the 2 weeks that I was away in Los Angeles, the PV was bang on course for 21%. I called Mike Cash and informed him, and he said, why don't you go abroad for a year and you come back a diamond? I remember Jerry Scriven saying, every time you leave a group after trying to help them get this business going, it goes bang. And you start thinking it's something that you're doing wrong. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you see, it's the system that does it. How could we stand up here and take credit for going Pearl? We just are products of a system. The only credit Angela and I will ever take is that we stuck to our dreams and had the guts to change our circumstances for ourselves. The journey to Pearl has been full of emotion for both of us. We were pushed by our circumstances when we saw this business, but we're now pulled by our dreams. As we can see the journey ahead is so very exciting for us, and we know it's going to be exciting for you too. Jerry Scriven said recently, networking is an idea whose time has come. We would like to add to that, your time has come too. If you put your hearts into this business and get committed and become a Picasso in networking, painting pictures in the minds of everyone you share this business with and help them fulfill their dreams, you will have a lifestyle like so many of our leaders here in the UK. To think, it was only 3 years ago when I was going to quit. We owe so much to Family Reunion. Now, if you're feeling low, in debt, or still don't understand what this business is all about, then get together with your upline and find out more about going to Family Reunion, which is fast approaching in July. It's the difference between building this business big and not building it at all. If you're serious about building a big business, then you really need to be there. The lineup of speakers we have is brilliant. We're so fortunate to have with us our American Upline Diamond Directs, Jerry and Polly Harteyes, and other great speakers too. Jerry and Polly come from very humble beginnings and didn't think this business would work for them until they saw a bonus check from their brother, Fred. He realised that his brother must be onto something. Family Reunion really is a must, and the growth after each family reunion for the organisation is unbelievable. 90 to 120 days after a major function, you can be a direct. It's worth it. We really know it is. Now, do you remember when I attended Family Reunion at the NEC just 3 years ago? It was the only function for the whole organisation. The growth is amazing in that time, and we're now staging 4 functions over 2 weekends. I'm sure you'll agree the business must be working. Well, let's just run over the dates for you so that you can make notes of which functions you need to attend. Family Reunion falls over 2 weekends, the first being on July the 15th, the 16th and the 17th, and is as follows. The NIA is for groups which attend the following functions: Wembley, Brentwood, Eastbourne and Reading, while the NEC is for groups which attend Cardiff, Kidderminster, Motorcycle Museum and the NEC. The second weekend is on the July the 22nd, 23rd and 24th and is as follows. The NIA is for groups which attend the following functions: Sheffield, Manchester, Harrogate, Dundee, Preston and Isle of Man, while the NEC is for groups which attended Channel Islands, Dublin, Germany, Holland, Wellington, Portsmouth, Bournemouth, Norwich, Derby and Cambridge. The cost is a mere £49 and is great value for money. Where can you get advice and information on how to build a business over a weekend for that amount and enable you to become financially free in 2 to 5 years? It is an incredible investment, and I know that you'll be there. For details on accommodation, etc., you'll need to get in touch with your upline to obtain a hotel booking form. It's so important to get organised quickly, as Birmingham, we are sure, will soon run out of rooms to cope with the numbers. So don't waste time, and you won't be disappointed. And I believe that tomorrow tickets will be on sale, so you need to put your orders in quick. Now, I know that I speak for both of us in saying that we feel really humbled at the way you've helped us this afternoon. We owe so much to so many, and we cannot thank our leaders or our upline enough for all the help they have given us. Now, it would not be appropriate for us to end today without a short paragraph from Robert Schuller's book that helped us. It appears on page 107. It says, "Friends can give you advice. They can share with you their emotions, but they should never have the final word. The only one who can make the decision and live with the results is you. Do what you believe you must do. Be true to yourself, to your ideals, and to your dreams. We've loved sharing with you. You've been a great audience, and we both look forward to hearing of your success, and we'll see you at the top. Go for it."